Welcome back to the Giants, guys. This week, Craig pops in and out as the rest of the crew gives their bye-week grades. Enjoy the show, and as always, follow these guys on Twitter. All right, welcome back to the Giants, guys. As Craig would say, burnow, burnow. I am not the owner and operator of NewYorkGiantsRush.com, but I am Jeff. We got Pilgrim's Point here. We got Spiro. We got Mikey Fresh and Mikey Stewart. I'm coming at you today. We're going to do some bi-week grades.
Brought to you by Starbucks. No, I'm just kidding.
We would have done mid-season grades, but I'm kind of glad we didn't because the grades would have been a lot worse. First, there was some big news this week. Colombo gets fired. Huge news, very unexpected. Caught us all off guard. What was your guys' reaction to that?
Initially, I was a little bit surprised, but then the more reports that came out, you saw that Judge was essentially doing the offensive line coach's job the last couple of weeks, and he probably thought to himself, if I can actually delegate this, then I'm in better shape. So even Colombo last week in one of his quotes, or 2 weeks ago, had said, like, in Dallas he had established guys, all pro level guys, and he was more of a motivator, whereas now he has like babies that he has to work with. So I think that the other line coach is going to free up Judge to do other things, and then also just be better for their development.
I agree. This was a shock, man. It came out of nowhere, and then some people are spreading fake news, like there's a fist fight, and I'm like, at first, my first thought was Joe Judge seems like a tough guy, and then I'm like, but Colombo's a monster.
Yeah, there might have been a fist fight.
Probably yelling.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think there were words. Colombo didn't like that they were bringing in this other guy to kind of oversee the O-line. And Joe Judge saw that as selfish, and he's been true to his word. If you act selfish, you're going to, I mean, he benched Tate, you know what I mean? A highly paid wide receiver. He had no problem benching him for being a distraction, for being selfish. So Joe Judge is staying true to his word. And if it's because Joe Judge that the O-line has been doing better lately, then so be it. Now he's got his guy, right? Colombo was Jason Garrett's guy. Now he's bringing in his guy to help the O-line. So I trust Joe Judge at this point. Michael Stewart, what do you think?
Yeah, same thing. You got to trust Judge's judgment. And, Mikey Fresh made a good point as well. I think Colombo is better with more established players, and he can refine them. But when you got these young guys, I think you need someone else, and perhaps this new guy is what they're going to look at to kind of develop these kids.
Yeah, I mean, listen, everybody was shocked about like this happening. Position coaches get fired all the time for underperforming units. Like it wasn't the first time. The biggest thing was the altercation and the possible fight. I don't know if there was a fight. I don't know if they're trying to hush hush. Either way, I'm fine with it. Like, listen, Judge is not taking any crap. He's not taking any, and if you're gonna call your boss you're gonna drop a C-bomb on him, which is what I think happened, you're gonna get fired. You can't. That doesn't jive. You know,
That's auto firing.
Yeah. So he's gone. Bring in Googs. Yeah, this guy is a pretty good offensive line coach. His biggest problem is he's a big time asshole. And so listen, he's gonna be here for a quick couple 6 games. He knows the team already. He's already been with the team. Get him in there. Let Andrew Thomas work with the technique he's been using the past 2 games. And let's ride. I'm not gonna lose any sleep over this.
Exactly.
I think it's gonna be fine. It happened at the beginning of our bye. You know what I mean?
Perfect
so there's
time.
A full 2 week. There's a lot of work that they can get him up to speed on, and I don't think they're gonna miss a hitch. Especially if the improvement had a lot to do with Joe Judge, then it's gonna be fine. I think he'll address the team and he'll get everyone back on the same page, ready to rock. So I'm not worried about it.
Agreed.
Yeah. So it's time. We got position groups for you. We're going to go group by group, give our individual grades and a quick justification on your grade. And if you have little children, then you'll understand why me and Spiro have these very special grading systems going on here. All right, Spiro, what do we got first?
All right, we're going to start with QB, quarterback group. You know what, Stuart, start us off. What do you think about the quarterback group?
Well, this team, 10 games, you really got 2 grades, but I'm going to just go overall right now, and it's going to change, of course, at the end of the year. I'm going to give Jones, who's taken all the snaps, I'm going to give him a C+, and only because he can't hold on to the ball. That's hurt him. He's shown a lot of good stuff, and I'd probably give him a little bit better grade, but the fumbles and the forced interceptions cost them a little bit. It's going to get better by the end of the year.
There. Fresh, what's your thoughts?
Spot on. I had a C plus as well. You're going to see a common theme among a bunch of these grades. We're going to say, if not for the last two games, or if only for the first month of the season, but with what he's had around him, from poor offensive line play in the beginning of the year to skill position, he's made some plays, but the turnovers are also what's preventing him from being better. Also, like, his numbers are down due to a product of what's around him too, but like, he's on pace. Like, he has 2,100 yards, 8 touchdowns, 9 picks. Like, maybe makes up for it with the rushing yards that are a little better than last year. He has 384 rushing yards, but C plus.
Man, we're gonna have some better debates with other groups, I guess, because I'm going C plus as well. It's the exact grade I had in my mind. He's definitely trending in the right direction. So I don't want to go too recency bias and be like, it's an A. He's great,
Right.
because it was rough. The first 8 games were rough with the turnovers,
Yeah.
like Stuart said, and he's headed in the right direction. If the last 2 games are any indication of where this kid is going to be playing and the identity of this team, then we're going to be fine. And I
Right.
think he's going to keep getting better. And, you know, I was harsh on him because the turnovers drove me crazy. You can't win when you're turning the ball over like that. But he's protecting the ball as of recently. I think C plus is fair for where we are at this point. What do you got, Spiro?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, I mean, I hate to be this guy, but this one we're all gonna agree on, because you got to take the whole thing into account. The no preseason, new system, new coach, terrible offensive line for the first couple of games. So, but he also wasn't helping matters either. He was throwing the ball all over the place. His numbers, like Mikey Fresh said, very average. So I'm gonna go to C. I if he keeps trending this way, though, it's gonna be a high B plus for me. So I'm praying that he keeps hitting this trajectory, and we see a strong last 6 games, and we don't have to worry about the whole draft in a second quarterback deal anymore. So.
Right.
Thank God. Thank God
Oh,
that
God.
conversation is over.
Quieted,
We're not going to
agreed.
be in the top 7. We're not taking a quarterback. Just stop it. Just
No,
stop
no, enough with that. Yeah. So, I think we could all agree C for the quarterback, and we'll move on to the next category. Let's go with the running backs minus Saquon Barkley. Well, you could add it Saquon Barkley if you want there altogether. Jeff, start us off with running backs. What's your thoughts?
I'm good with a B here for now, a solid B. Barkley has got to be like drooling, seeing how the old line is playing lately, thinking about next year. And Wayne Gallman, I mean, you guys said I was hard on him coming in. You guys were right. You know, I was wrong on this one. I didn't see much from Wayne Gallman. I don't know how you guys knew, to be honest, because I didn't see it unless I was just looking at it wrong. But you guys said he was a good back and a capable back, and he's completely proving that. I think he's exceeding expectations. The O line is getting better. 5 games in a row, over 100 yards of rushing. Like, who do we think we are? I don't know, but I like it. They get a B from me.
Okay, Stuart, thoughts?
Well, I'm keeping the same trend. I'm a little bit below what Jeff had. I put C plus only because of the earlier games that really hurt them, but a lot had to do with the offensive line.
Mhm.
But still, you got to grade them somewhere. Last few games, boy, you could give them an A. Really, those gosh, by committee, and it's only going to get better when Freeman comes back. So
Yep.
it's a good second half we're going to look forward to. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
All right, Fresh.
We lost your audio there, Freshie.
You got me. You got me.
Yeah,
There you
I
are.
hear
There
you.
you are.
You guys are a little. You guys are a little too generous. I'm going C. Their rushing totals from the first 3 games, and I know we hit on the line, but 29 yards, 75 yards, 66 yards. So, I mean, while it's improved, Gallman's averaging 4 yards a carry now, and he's playing well. But if we look around the league, is he better than an average running back? I don't know. I think that the line is more of a product of the running game, and we'll get to that. So this group gets a C.
Fair.
It's fair.
I'm also going to agree with you, Fresh. We have a good running game. Doesn't mean we have a good running backs per se. I told you guys I love Wayne Gallman to begin with. He's doing what he should be doing. He's getting the yards that are there. He's a great second running back right now. But Freeman, he looks a little rusty to get in there. Morris is who he is. He's going to get the yards that are there as well. We don't have that stud. For me, if they keep trending again in the right direction, B minus might be my high for that, their high mark. But I'm going to go with a C for now, and hope for the best going forward. But offensive line's just chugging along, and that's what's the key here.
It's hard to keep the recency bias out of your mind.
Right.
Like these grades would be so different if it was the 1-7 team we were grading.
True
But
story. Very
Yeah.
true. All right, so let's move on to the wide receiver group. Stuart, start us off with the wide receiver group. What do you got there?
Well, I'm gonna be a nice guy right now, and I'm gonna give him a C. I had him at a D plus for a while, but
hmm
Slayton really gives them a little bit push to not make it be too embarrassed.
Right.
But clearly, this is a position that we need to improve on, whether it's the last 6 games or in the draft or in free agency. So I give him a C, a gracious C.
Okay. I'm going to hit this one up here at the 2 spot. I'm going to give it a D.
That's
I'm going to give it like a D plus and it's all because of Slayton. Tate looks cooked. Shepard, if Shepard was here all season long, it would have been in the C range right now. But Shepard's getting open. Slayton's making this better. But the rest is just, I want to see more of Mac. I like what I'm seeing out of him, but not enough yet. So I'm going to give it a D, and hoping that it keeps on this trajectory as well up to a C. But no doubt
Okay.
we need people at this spot. Fresh, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm going F, and here's why.
He's tough.
Right now, Slayton leads in all the major categories, and his pace for the season: 60 catches, 930 yards, 4 touchdowns. Look around the league. What number one receiver on any team has that? Not a knock on him, just a knock on the fact that he's not a number one receiver. But more so than that, nobody's ever open. There's too many drops. And I may trade their receiving core the way it's played this year for any other in the NFL.
not the Jets.
It's been they need to address that position. So that's me for that.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm
Okay, Jeff?
going D- on this one. It is so clear that we are void of major talent in that area. And Fresh said it. When you look around the league, there's really a lot of teams that have that third guy that is still a stud. Like you look at even in our division, Dallas's group, even the Bengals. There are teams that have so many options and so many threats that once you take away one guy, all right, it's the other guy's time to shine, and we don't have that. And part of it is conservative play calling, trying to focus on the run game, trying to keep our quarterback out of trouble. So there's a few different factors going into that, but I think not only do we need to, in free agency, try to make room for one of those alpha wide receivers, I think we need to draft a guy that can slide in. We need to add 2 threats at the position. Tate is cooked, like you said. Shepard injured, and he's a serviceable slot guy. Nobody's scared of him. So obviously it's something to be addressed. And look at this, our fearless leader.
Oh, we
Jumping
got
in.
him.
Keep in mind, they may trade Shepard in the offseason.
He could be another piece to be traded.
Not out of the question.
What's up, Craigie?
Craig, what's going on, bud?
I don't see him on mine.
Yeah, he's out on the volume.
All right, we'll wait till he can hear us.
Yeah. Anyways, let's move on to next position group. Now, tight ends. Let's go.
Mr. Craig should be in this one.
I know. We all let's. I'm gonna preemptively say F for. Well, maybe Caden Smith might bring that grade up, but no. I'll start off tight ends. I'm gonna say, for me, I'm gonna give it a D, just because there's so much more potential there with Engram. If Engram could just put together some catches, I would have had a C on him, because I think Caden Smith is doing good stuff. But Toilolo, we signed him to block, and he's been okay, I guess, as a blocker, but he's barely playing any snaps. Engram's been a bust so far, and Caden Smith has been plodding along, but nothing special. So I'm going to give him a D, and hopefully Engram has a big end to this season so we can get this up to a C, but unspectacular.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, thoughts?
Yeah, it's another D- for me. Some tough grades here, but Caden Smith is the closest thing we have to a traditional tight end, and he's not being targeted. He is great in the running game, and he's chipping. He's factoring in as a blocker, and he's making contributions. He's actually responsible, if you watch the tape, for setting Daniel Jones free on that
Yes, sir.
long rushing touchdown. That was 100% him. The tight ends, I mean, our biggest weapon as a tight end is basically a wide receiver who can't block, and he has issues with catching the ball this year. And after Caden Smith, it's like nobody knows who that tight end is really around the league. He's not a guy anybody's worried about. So it's another group in need of a facelift, in much need of improvement. D- for me.
Stuart, thoughts?
Well, I'm in the same boat as you guys. I gave him a D. And again, we can definitely go D-, but yeah, this position definitely needs to be upgraded. And hopefully, like you said, Jeff, England does much better in the second half. But that's it. I give him a D.
I do
Solid.
expect a better second half from
Yeah.
Ingram. I think he's going to score a couple touchdowns and have some big games. He really wasn't factored a lot in the Philly game. I think he had 3
Right.
targets, 2 catches, really not much.
Fresh thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I'm gonna go D, and just the bad plays outweigh the good plays for Ingram. So
Yeah.
that's all.
True. Fair enough. Okay, well, we're gonna move on to the offensive line as a unit. Let's talk about offensive line. Fresh, what are your thoughts? What do you got on them?
Yeah, so grade is a C-, and it's mainly because the first month or two was so
Right.
bad.
Yeah.
And taking the whole body of work into consideration, they are 16th in the NFL at rushing, 110 yards a game. But over the last 7 games, minus those first 3 games, they're averaging over 130. So
Trending
that's
up.
significant improvement with what we all said was an average running back class from earlier with them getting C's. So I think that they've made major strides and they're trending in the right direction.
Yeah, I hear you. Stuart, thoughts?
Gave him a C- as well. Same thing that Fresh says. First few games, probably F's, and then last few games, high B+ or so, which gives him a C-. And hopefully this will continue as we move on and hopefully win that division. That's the goal.
I hear you. Craig, can you hear us? Oh,
No.
I can't hear you. You're done, man. You're done. We're
Thanks
cutting you.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming in and out of our episode.
Ah. Hey, you're hearing hard. I gave you, if you could hear me, I gave you an F for the tight end group because I'm assuming you're going to go with F for Ingram.
There's the worst grade
Yeah.
group too.
He agrees.
I love it.
He
All right, hey,
agrees.
Jeff, swing it back to you. Offensive line, what's your thoughts?
Offensive line, I'm giving them, like Colombo gave Judge, a C word, because these guys, they're so young. You know, they didn't have a chance to get acquainted with each other in preseason. They went up against some stellar defensive lines, which I don't like using that excuse, because if you want to be good, you have to be good against the NFL competition. That's what your competition is. So I don't like being afraid of good teams, because good teams aren't afraid of anybody. I think they're so young. They needed to get going. And the way they're trending, the way they've been playing lately, springing their average running backs for over 100 yards a game, I think they deserve a little bit more than a C-. I think they are playing tough and playing hard, and they're being coached well. And I think they're responding to the coaching. And I think we're going to continue to see that improve. So they get a C from me.
Okay, solid. I'm gonna be my Mr. Glass half full persona here. I'm gonna go with a B minus. Yeah,
Wow.
let's factor what they've went through right now. They went through no preseason. You got a rookie at left tackle. You got now Shane Lemieux's been working in at guard. You have a first time center. You have Fleming on the right who hasn't been here, and Zeitler. All that, factor in a coach that now has now been fired mid-season. There's turmoil all over the place, and we've led now into a 15th ranked or 16th ranked rushing unit. We're skyrocketing up those rankings as well. Daniel Jones has had time to make some plays over the past couple of games. This unit is turning into a force, and Garrett knows how to use them now. So I'm doing a little bit of trajectory here, a little bit of what they've went through. I'm going to settle in at a B minus, and by season's end, don't be surprised again to B plus, A minus range. Watch out for this O
Connor,
line.
wow.
Watch out.
Some old
We're
gold.
rolling. We're rolling. All
Wide
right.
range,
All right.
wide range of grades on that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
That
B
was a good
minus.
one.
B minus. That's it. That's B. We're staying at a B minus.
Correct, agree with you on that one.
Yeah. All right. So let's go on to the next unit. Defensive line carrying our defense right now. What's your thoughts on it? Stuart, start us off again.
Well, this is the first group of my list that got a B grade. I'm gonna give him a B, treading to a B plus.
Mm,
Only because they're not, sacking a lot of, they don't have no premier sack rusher, but overall, this is a great unit, and they still need to get somebody next year in there to make the difference. But you gotta love the way Williams is playing, and all of them, Tomlinson, they're all playing well.
great. Fresh thoughts.
Yeah, I didn't even view this as pass rushers. I kind of lumped them with the backers, but I gave him an A. It's the deepest. It's the deepest position on the team. Leonard Williams, the year he's having is in the top 5 at his position, depending on where you rank some of the other top guys. And again, Dexter Lawrence, BJ Hill, Tomlinson, they're all contributing, and I just think they're really solid.
Solid. Jeff, thoughts?
It's the first one of the day, and they get the big
Ooh,
A.
Alpha.
I am with Fresh on this one. I mean, when you look at the team, what unit can you look at and say they're better than this unit? Like, this is the strength of our team on both sides of the ball. That's where they are. They've been good against the run. It has been a committee, but they actually are racking up some decent sack numbers. Nobody's, sniffing double digits yet, but they are getting to the quarterback by committee, and they're middle of the pack defense overall right now. And I think it's a huge part to that defensive line. And you got to hope that we can keep a lot of those guys together, as many as we can as we move forward, because we know can't pay everybody.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you guys on that. I'm gonna give them an A. They're not sacking the quarterback per se, but there's a push in the middle of that pocket. You see it. Now you just need an edge rusher to come clean up around the side, which
Exactly,
we are
yeah.
lacking. So the run game, I mean, take minus that Eagles game where Miles Sanders did gash us a little bit, but they've been so solid against the run all season long. Leonard Williams is going to get a Pro Bowl vote here. He should get a Pro Bowl nod. And Dexter Lawrence and also Tomlinson, they've been so solid all year round. So this group carried us from game one, and I'm going to give them a solid A minus. That's going to be my grade, and I think that they're going to just be solid the rest of the season. So.
I heard something.
A minus. That's
Oh,
bold.
hey! Look who it is.
I'm back to entertain you.
All right, Greg, what's your thoughts? What do you got for the defense?
Overall, the
Defensive line.
is made up of D-line. D-line, it's the best unit we have from end to end. How can you go wrong with what you've got out of these guys? I mean, who thought that BJ Hill was even still on the roster, right? You're getting a lot of juice out of him.
Yeah,
Leonard Williams is definitely
Tomlinson,
stepping up,
wow.
showing you, why you paid him. And then, if you can get a guy like Dexter Lawrence getting like 20, 30% of the snaps, and he's your first round draft pick, that says a lot about the other guys. I totally give him an A.
All right,
Yep.
solid.
Same.
I'm liking it.
Right
All
on.
right, so let's move on. Next one, linebacker unit. I guess you could include edge rushers. Let's talk about the group as a whole. Linebacker unit. Craig, what's your thoughts on a linebacking unit? Grade.
All the linebackers?
Yeah,
Yep.
edge rushers and all.
We don't have
So,
five Blake
it's
Martinez's.
Yeah, that's tough. Because if you take Martinez out of it, the unit's very average.
Yeah.
So, because like Mayo and Downs is terrible. Mayo's a nice backup. Fackrell, I think, Spiro, you hit the nail on the head that he's getting a lot of snaps and he's kind of getting a little exposed. So the linebackers as a whole, I give him a C plus, but or maybe a B minus if we're doing that.
That's all Martinez for you, huh?
Yeah, well, because Martinez would give them an A, but he gets an A as an individual. But the unit, it's really not very dynamic. It's just solid.
Right. Fair. All right, Jeff, what's your thoughts?
Yeah,
linebackers.
I'm going C on this one. And if Fresh really said it, you have to look around the league and think about what these great defenses have. And you like look at Pittsburgh and their linebacking crew and like some of the better teams. Like we have Martinez, who is not even a game breaker. He is put his helmet down and he makes every tackle that he's supposed to, right? Like he's the run stopper. He's doing exactly what we thought he would do. But we don't have any game wreckers, at the line. We've seen potential, we have Zoe coming back next year. There's potential guys around, but it's a unit that is well coached and it's a unit that is doing their best, but they're not going to get above a C from me just because we don't look at them. And I don't think anybody around the league looks at them as like, watch out for those linebackers.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like we need some star power there.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say the same. I'm gonna give him a C minus. I wish Zoe Carter was here, man. I would love to have because he was coming out like a bat out of hell those first 2 games, and I think he truly would have been our best pass rusher if he stayed around. He was setting the edge as well. Fackrell's getting exposed. I want to see what Zimenez does when he comes back, but he's been gone for a long time. It's been Martinez and not much else. I like what I see out of Crowder. So, if he finishes the season strong, this unit could get up to like a C plus range for me. But it's so obvious what this team needs, and that's a fierce edge rusher at that spot. So I'm going to give him a C minus for now and hope for just an average play out on the rest of the year. And next year, maybe another story. Stuart, thoughts on your linebacker grade?
Well, we're gonna put them all as a whole. I'm gonna put down C plus.
Mhm.
Of course, Martinez is the main guy there. They're definitely gonna get some kind of playmaker in the draft in this group, and it could be in the inside, it could be on the outside. We don't know. Depends where they fit, where they are in the first round, or at least in the top 3 rounds. I can see this happening. So I give
Right.
him a C plus.
All right, Fresh.
I went with a B. I think Martinez has been that amazing as a
Yeah.
tackling machine, and he's been a huge addition and a big part of the defensive improvement. Lack of a consistent, you guys all hit on the negatives, and I give a better grade than you, but the other guys, lack of a consistent pass rush and all those things is why I gave it a B, but I thought that Martinez's play kind of got it up to a B.
Solid. Agreed. All right. Well, let's move on to that secondary cornerback group. All right, Jeff, start us off. Cornerbacks. What do you got there?
Cornerback group is getting a C from me because, I mean, Bradbury has been outstanding. He has been phenomenal,
baby.
right? He's another Pro Bowler. And I think it's not just our fans that are recognizing it. He's starting to get respect around the league as being, a top tier cornerback. I think the weakness of our defense has been the secondary overall. The second cornerback spot has been up and down all year. It's been exposed as a weakness. I'm concerned when Alex Smith comes in the game and has over 300 passing yards in less than a full game. So like that's concerning to me. It's another area of need. We know what they are. It's not, outside of Bradbury, it's certainly not a strength. So C for me.
Okay. Craig, can you hear us? Are you with us?
Yeah, can you hear me still?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Gotcha.
got
What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think you guys are nailing it. I mean, it's we've all known that the second corner has been a weak spot, but guys like Logan Ryan and the rest of the rotating group has kind of filled in to make up for it. But it's still a C grade. I mean, it's the same exact situation you have with the linebackers. It's Martinez bringing up some very solid guys, and it's Bradbury bringing up some very solid guys. I mean, I think Logan Ryan's definitely more than a solid guy, but it's definitely, as we just alluded to, the draft is going to be an edge rusher and a cornerback because those are positions where we just don't have A-level elite players that make a difference. You're not scared of whoever is playing that second corner. So, I mean, I don't know how better what kind of grade can you possibly give them past the C?
Solid. Understood. Fresh, you're up.
I went with a B using my same rationale as with Martinez. I think that we say like Leonard Williams I say, maybe top 5 of his position. Like you could maybe start naming guys and think about it. Bradbury's a top 2 corner in the league, like hands down, period. And it's hard for me to find more than one person that take over him. So for that reason, I gave it a B. And I think that the other teams are just picking on whoever's on the other side. So that's a big reason that the third down percentages defensively have been so poor.
Got it. All right, Stuart.
I'm in the same boat with the majority here. I give him a C minus. Bradbury is the best of the bunch, but they do lack that overall guy on the other side, and that's going to be something they're going to work on in the draft. And like Craig says, first 3 picks, depends where they fall. You could see a wide receiver, an edge rusher, and a cornerback.
Got it. Okay. I'm gonna hit him with a straight down the middle, solid C. You got to take into account that Baker and Beal kind of screwed over the secondary right off the bat. I'm not going to get on Beal. He COVID, it is what it is. But you're ready down to your CB4 right off the bat. Bradbury has kept this unit to a C. He is, if I graded him alone, he's an A, maybe even A plus. So that's the reason why. But Ryan Lewis, he's okay. Yadam, they've been okay at best, but every time the game's on a line, they're getting targeted and they're letting up a play. Darnay Holmes coming along very, very, very slow trajectory. I know Jeff wanted more out of him, but he's getting there. He's not getting burned. So I say he's been average. Bradbury's been A plus, and everybody else is just kind of in the mix. Average, below average. All right, let's move on to the safety group, last of the secondary. Thoughts on it, Jeff? Lead us off.
I'm going to go B minus because I love Jabril Peppers that much. I absolutely love this guy and everything he's about, and I hope the Giants keep him for a while because this guy is exactly who you want on your team. Not only is he a Jersey guy, but he is tough, man. He wants the contact. He gets lit up and he bounces up and he congratulates the guy, great hit. He's a psycho, and I love that guy, and I want him in a Giants uniform. The thought of having McKinney just waiting to come join is, I'm drooling over it because it's going to be a game changer. It's going to be huge. So I am factoring that in a little bit, even though it's still a pipe dream at the moment until we see him on the field and everything, but B minus for me.
Solid. Fresh thoughts?
Yeah, C plus. Peppers has played like an A the last few games. Earlier in the year, he wasn't super healthy, and then beyond him, the production leaves a little bit to be desired. So I think we're all excited about McKinney. So let's see how that turns out.
Mm-hmm. All right, Stuart.
Yeah, C plus for me as well. They don't have anything really after Peppers, so Peppers has been playing near borderline All Pro. So C plus is my grade.
Greg?
I'm actually kind of leaning more towards guys playing above their pay grade, like Logan Ryan playing slot and corner and safety, and Peppers has made it fun to watch again. And we all know it hasn't been very fun to watch. So Peppers, Logan Ryan, guys, I think they're doing a really good job. I can't tell you that we've given up a ton of long passes, and when we do, it's usually guys like a guy that can pull off the street. So yeah, I'm okay with giving them a B because I think they're playing above their pay grade.
I hear you. I'm actually going to piggyback off that. I'm going to give him a B minus. I think I'm including Logan Ryan in the safety group. And he's got a couple picks back there, 2 or 3 at this point. I love how a healthy Peppers has looked over the past 5 games. His weak spot was pass defense, and he's improved in his pass defense this season. He looks way better. Makes every tackle out there. Julian Love has ups and downs, but you factor in a possible return of McKinney, and that unit could maybe approach A status if McKinney is who we think he's going to be. But I'm going to give him a solid B minus for now, and I like what they're doing back there. No big plays, it's bend but don't break. They're living it up to a T. So let's move on. I'm going to say special teams unit as a whole, because let's not go through. Let's not get crazy here. But all right, let's start off with Craig. Thoughts on special teams?
Gunners, and more gunners. We have a head coach that's infatuated with gunners. There's really not a lot to complain about the special teams. I mean, Double G has been a godsend as the kicker. We love Double G. We're glad he got paid, and now he's just got to get healthy. Dixon, I mean, what can you say? The dude's bombing the ball all over the field. He's consistent as can be. Peppers returning the ball. Again, I go back to what I said before. Peppers has made the game fun again. Now he's returning kicks, and he's sliding, and he's finding cracks, and he's moving. Overall, I mean, I don't really know how you can say anything bad about special teams because we've had years of bad special teams or average special teams. We're not talking about special teams because they're not making mistakes.
Yeah.
Right. So what you got? What's your grade here overall?
Gonna give him an A.
Solid. Stuart.
I'm gonna give them a B overall. Cano and Dixon in my book get like the highest grades of anybody. Thank God that they did sign Cano. That was a great move. And that wasn't really talked about until Craig just mentioned it. And overall, the special team kickoff and returns are okay. Nothing special if you look around the league. So I give them a B overall.
All right, solid. Jeff?
Yeah, it's definitely an A for me. I mean, our place kicker is kicking at a Pro Bowl level. He's been as close to automatic and reliable as you can get. Our punter is doing a great job. Joe Judge, special teams was his thing. So he's coming here. You better believe that's going to be a solid unit, and they have been. Do you guys know who our long snapper is? It's Casey Krelter. Yeah, and you don't know him because he's doing a good job, right? You only find out who those guys are if they're messing up.
Jeff, good call.
Yeah, I would like to see a little more from our kick return game, but I think it's coming. Peppers is flashing here and there, and I think Judge has a few tricks up his sleeve that we're going to see down the second half. You saw, I think it was maybe the first Dallas game. I forget which game it was where we pulled off the fake, absolutely burnt them, and there was that BS offensive line penalty. Yep. So I think Judge definitely has some tricks. Could probably see a fake punt, another fake kick. There's going to be some things happen down the stretch here. Judge is just waiting for the right moment. So they get an A for me.
Solid. I'm going to say A as well. If that play that you talked about, Jeff, if that play connects, we win that Dallas game. And the season, you're staring at 4-6 at this point, which is it tops in a division. So, I'm going to call him automatic. Everybody says you said almost. He is automatic. His only miss is a 50-plus yarder. So
automatic.
I'm going to say he's been an All-Pro at that level. Dixon, for a 7th-round pick that Gettleman traded, he's been a godsend. How many punts did he pin the Eagles down under the 10 or in the 20, whatever?
He had an 80-yard punt, I think, the last.
It was a 70-plus for sure.
Yeah.
He's been great. The kick return game. Kickoff returns, not so much, but the punt return, you had Peppers there. You're getting this guy Pettis now that they just signed. I think he's going to be a nice little weapon back there as well. I'm going to give him an A. That's me. So Fresh, tell us what's your thoughts. Last one.
Yeah, I'm going. You guys hit it on the head. B+. The negatives are just little, no explosive returns really, but I would much rather have that and then be really, really sound on the coverage and on the field position. So Judge has really made his imprint there for sure.
Got it. All right. Hey, and speaking of Judge, let's wrap it up with the coaching staff. What are our thoughts on the coaching staff? Fresh, lead us off with that.
I'm giving him a B with a disclaimer. It's super difficult to give a 3-7 team just much higher than that, right? But with how we graded all the position groups, with the way that they're trending, I think this will be the last time we ever do a review on Judge where he gets this low of a grade. I'm feeling that good about him and really excited for the future.
All right. Greg, thoughts on Judge, coaching staff in general?
As hard as it is to say, because I think Fresh kind of nailed it, everything to date is awesome. It's perfect, but can we give a guy an A, at the bye week? There's a lot of things he's going to face in his career, but so far handling the Baker stuff, the Colombo stuff, all the hiccups he's handled perfectly. So I'm giving him a B+. That's just purely because it's middle of the year and I don't want to give him an A and then something happens and I was like, oh, why did I do that? I mean, he's proven to be as advertised, but I want to just hold firm on the fact that it is a small sample size, but I'm in love with the sample size we have.
Right. Stuart?
I'm gonna give him a B as well. And we talk about Judge and his Belichick influence, but let me tell you something. I watch Judge and I see what he does. He reminds me a lot of Parcells. He doesn't take anything. He doesn't give. He doesn't let these guys. You know, he's tough, and I see a lot of Parcells in him too.
I like it. I like it, Jeff.
B+ for me. You can't give an A to a 3-7 team, like Fresh said. Like there's just a rule against that. You can't do it. But how do you not love Joe Judge? And I think the reason why you try to take this year, I said it preseason, it's going to be about progress, not competing for a Super Bowl. So the way this team is trending, these guys have overachieved even at 3-7 with being so young, first time system, no offseason. We know everything that was up against him. The reason why we've been in every game except one is because of how well coached they are. And there's no doubt about that, because we know we don't have all the talent in the world. Like, it's because of how well they're coached. Joe Judge has passed every test, like Craig said. The guy's been killing it. He's handled everything. The New York media, it's not an easy job, and he makes no excuses. He's exactly who we need as our coach. I give Joe Judge individually an A. Overall B+, just because the record is what it is, but I feel great about who we have at the helm.
Fair. I hear you all, but I'm gonna end up with egg on my face, maybe, but I don't care. I'm going A-. Damn the record. He has put this team that we could all agree, average talent-wise, he's put us in position to win every game. With this unit, we should have been getting blown out several times. I think the one game that he got out-coached was the San Francisco game, and ever since then he's been on. It's like he took that personally. He took that right to heart, and he's firing people when he doesn't get the product that he wants. He's taking control of that offensive line because he sees anything that's a weak spot, he's going to get his nose in there. He's motivating the hell out of players. You can see everything he does on the sidelines gets me jacked up. Every press conference he has says the right thing every single time. I think, again, maybe something over the last 6 games will happen where I'll change my mind. I don't see it. I think he's going to be a consistent guy, and we're seeing the guy that we're going to see for the next decade. Yeah, I'm saying decade. I think this is going to be the guy, guys. So I'm going to give him an A-, and I think we got our future present and future coach here.
I mean, he's young, Spiro. It might be 2 decades. You never know.
Don't tempt me with a good time. Don't tempt me. All right, guys. So that's it. We got all the grades for all the units. A solid work at everybody, and we'll be back. We're gonna take this bye week in. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Craig, any thoughts?
Yeah, man. Listen, as always, you're listening to the Giants Guys impromptu grading episode. And I'm joining you remotely from some random park on the side of the road. So thank you for hanging with us, and glad we can entertain you a little bit further. And enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy the bye week, and we're going to be back probably, talking about the Bengals.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
We have
Let's get this
football. Meaningful football in November. Like, that's something we haven't had in years.
Let's have it in December.
Yes.
Don't get greedy, but okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Giants guys.
Peace.